that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. But it comes to the end of my life. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the end of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the end of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the end of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the end of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the end of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes, that has come to me. Running fast for the end of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Running fast for the end of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. It is here in the Father's kingdom. It was there for me. You took me in, and you washed away my sins. You washed away my sins.
You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and gays. Come here. Come here, microphone. This is The Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter here. Hope you're having a great Friday. Can't believe it's Friday already. So this is basically my my Sunday. So I'm back to work tomorrow. Sadness, but that's all right though. I had a good weekend. Got to hang out with my amazing partner. Hung out with two of my friends who I haven't seen in several years, actually. Um, so I had a really good weekend. I'm very happy with the weekend that I had. So um, so yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. But yeah, y'all, it's screener season. So I am starting to get screeners, and so I watched one today. Not a screener. So I did watch a screener, but I'm going to be reviewing that on another day. But I did go ahead and watch a movie that I was very curious about because I've heard mixed things about this from people. Um, I know some people I talked to said they really enjoyed it, and some people thought it was absolute bullshit. So the first review I've got here on docket is going to be Materialists. One of the latest A24 offerings came out earlier this year. I want to say June. Yeah, June 13th. Huh, go me. But it went ahead and came out earlier this summer. 78% Rotten Tomatoes, 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, I trust way more than Rotten Tomatoes. But this movie stars Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and of course Pedro Pascal, who feels like he was in fucking everything last year. I know some people are over Pedro Pascal. I love the dude. I think Pedro Pascal is quite fantastic. But pun intended there, by the way. But to get into this movie here, this is directed by indie darling, um, uh, uh, indie darling Celine Song, who of course you know from writing and directing Past Lives. That was in 2024? Oh, 2023. 2023. She went ahead and directed and wrote that. And she also, I did not know she had written on The Wheel of Time. I did not know that. Huh. More you know. Um, so here's the thing. Everyone loved most people. Most people love Past Lives. Something's going on with Canada, so I don't know if he'll be on the show. I was going to introduce him, but I'm not sure if he'll be back. Hopefully he is. Um, but I was really curious going into this because my sister, or one of my sisters, Cameron, shout out to Cameron, she sent me a roughly 11-minute long audio uh, clip saying that it was absolute crap. Um, it was really like it was shit. That's what she told me. She's like, it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And wait, no, goddamn Afternoon Dune. Josh asked me, can you and Bradley review All's Fair? We are not reviewing. That's the Ryan Murphy show. We're not reviewing that. Yeah, no. I'm not watching that. I am not. I have to watch the new Tyler Perry movie, and I'm not hate watching. I'm not hate watching All's Fair. Fuck that. Um. So no, yeah, not doing that. Um. With that, God damn it, Josh, stop distracting me. But I was curious going into this because Cameron had told me it was absolute shit. She hated it. It's one of the worst things she's ever seen. And I was like, okay, like afternoon tune, what are you saying now? Hunter always has it whenever there's people at the bottom or at the top, and he's on the bottom. He must be a sub. I mean, you know, to each their own. But when my sister hates something that bad, she's usually right on the money. So I was very curious. I was like, okay. But then I had other friends of mine saying, like, y'all, this is like, dude, this is really bad. So I didn't read any reviews. I literally just listened to what my friends had to say about it. No one spoiled any plot points or anything like that for me. But what I was just told that it was shit. So I was like, all right. And I gotta say, y'all, after watching this, I don't really know where to start with this review. And I mean that in terms of I genuinely don't know where to start because when I got to the end of this movie, I was flabbergasted. I was truly amazed by what I had just seen. This is a movie that's so like tone deaf and so it, vile. Like that's not a term I use often, but it's a vile film. It's a movie that I just kind of felt icky after I'd watched it. I was really, really upset, to be honest. So, as far as how the film starts off, it starts off with this flashback to caveman days. Um, we see like a caveman putting a flower petal on this cave woman's hand to symbolize, her finger to symbolize a ring. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna be like one of the last shots in the movie, isn't it?" Like, I already hate that you're that you're setting this up to come back to it. And so we're introduced to Dakota Johnson's Lucy. So you know Dakota Johnson from, of course, the 50 Shades movies, but hopefully you know her from from Bad Times at the El Royale, which is a movie I fucking dug. I actually really liked Am I Okay? I liked that quite a bit too. Um, Peanut Butter Falcon, she's good in that. Like I've seen Dakota Johnson be good in shit, and not even just good, like great and shit. But it's so confusing to me because I don't know if she cares. You know what I mean? Like someone like Florence Pugh. I think Florence Pugh wants it. I think Florence Pugh wants to be not just one of the best actresses in her generation. I think she wants to go down as one of the greats. I think she truly has that motivation. Like she's driven like that. Um, I don't think Dakota Johnson really gives a shit. I know Hollywood is filled with nepo babies, but I really just don't think um um I just don't think she cares. I don't think she wants it badly enough. I don't know if she even really wants to get better. I think she's a fascinating interview. I think she's a very fun interview. Um, but in terms of acting, I just don't know if she really cares enough to get better. And this is one of those roles. And I was sitting here like because I watched this a few hours ago, and I was really sitting here trying to think like, what is it about her performance in this that's so that just eats at me the way it does. And she's playing Anastasia Steele. She's basically playing Anastasia Steele with like a more selfish Anastasia Steele, which I know is a borderline insane sentence to have to fucking say, but it's true. Like she really does feel like she is the center of the universe, that everything revolves around her. She plays this matchmaker, and because she's playing a matchmaker, she has these people. She literally has people's, dating lines in the palm of her hand. And there are these points where people are being so goddamn vain about what they're looking for that it's kind of amazing that the film, like there is this point where she just kind of breaks down and tells one of her clients that like I'm a matchmaker, I'm not building you a pizza, I can't build you man, like we're in a fucking lab. And she's right. And I would almost think if this film was better written, that would kind of be the point of it, that you can't always pick what you want in a spouse. Sometimes it's just about the love. But that's not even the point that the film is making. The movie really feels like it's saying, settle. And I even mean like settle on like something like, you want someone who's like a redhead and they have like purple hair or something like that. But it feels like like Chris Evans' character is straight up just like, I know that you'll never love me the way that I love you, but I can't help but being in love with you. And I went, that's so fucking sad. His character, John. And let me just say this too, because I know I've been giving Dakota Johnson some shit. We gotta have a talk about Chris Evans, because between Honey Don't and Red One, and I haven't seen Pain Hustlers, but let's just read what he's had in the last couple of years here. So again, Knives Out was 2019, which I know everyone goes back to Knives Out because he's great in that. But then, Lightyear, which I like Lightyear. I know people hate on Lightyear, but I have fun with Lightyear. The Gray Man in 2022, eh. Ghosted 2023, eh. Pain Hustlers, I heard decent things, but nothing like over the moon. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, okay, that's great. Um, Play Johnny Storm in Deadpool Wolverine. He's in it for a bit, fun little cameo. Red One, dog shit. Honey Don't, mostly dog shit. And then Materialists this year, and then Sacrifice, which I have not seen yet. Um, I just like what I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how he's picking his projects, and that's another guy that look Captain America, like former Captain America. I will always give him his credit for being an amazing Steve Rogers, and I think the like the stuff he's done in terms of like social issues and charity, like I give him a lot of credit for that. But holy crap, like him trying to play this like emo art broke artist, I don't buy it. It's kind of like the Made in Manhattan thing, the issue I have with Made in Manhattan, where you see Jennifer Lopez as a maid in that movie, and you're like, okay, at some point, someone with money would just be like, "Do you want to model? Like, you could model, right?" Um, and Chris Evans, even with like sad, like depressed, bearded Chris Evans, I'm like, yeah, dude, like someone would see you acting, and even if you couldn't act, they would just be like, okay, you want to just like do like commercials or some shit. Um, but but Lucy, oh yeah, the plot. Lucy, Dakota Johnson's character, she and John used to date. They had a breakup, which, to be honest, the whole reason why they broke up is that he doesn't want to apply himself, and she's a fucking gold digger. Like that's and she's vain as hell. That's really it. There's a point later on in the film where John is like trying to convince her, like, I'll change, I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. And it's as he's rattling these things off, it's like these are like decent, these are pretty good changes, but like, dude, she like you could have done this when you were together the first time. Like why is this just clicking for you now? It's such a pessimistic film in terms of love. Like this feels like a rom-com written by your friend who got cheated on. Like all those like stereotypes about people who read like like 17 magazine and adjacent magazines like that to make people feel about themselves. That's what this feels like it's written by and for. Pedro Pascal shows up as Harry, and God bless him. I think Pedro Pascal is really trying. I really do. Like he's so suave by nature that there are just these moments where he's so fucking charming. You're like, oh yeah, this is Pedro Pascal. Like, oh, pardon me. Say what you will about this movie, but he at least has a couple moments where he's just, he's suited up and he looks good and he flashes that smile and you're like, oh yeah, this guy, like Pedro can just turn that charisma on like a fucking switch. But the dialogue he is given, like, I just don't think there's anyone um who can make this work. I think what bummed me out so much about this film is that not only because it's just fucking vain, but Celine's song, that was like the biggest strength of Past Lives, was how fucking great the dialogue was. And so there is just this point where you're like, well, why is this like so underwritten? Why does this feel so cold? That's the term I kept coming back to. This feels like a very cold film. Um, there's there's a point where Dakota Johnson's talking to one of her Lucy's talking to one of her clients, and it's on her wedding day, and her client is in the fetal position, like crying, and she's like, I don't know if I want to get married, but like I have to get married because my parents spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this, and oh my god, and so she's freaking out, and so and so she so I'm paraphrasing a little bit of this, but this is essentially the dialogue word for word. I am a modern woman. I could have been anything, but I chose to be a bride. It's not like my family needs a cow. And then Lucy goes, marriage is a business deal. You can always walk away from the deal. I have to get married. My parents spent so much money so I can feel like a woman. Oh yeah. And then she tells Lucy, like, can I tell you something like private? And she goes, like, you can tell me anything. I've heard all the bad shit in the world. Like, you're not gonna surprise me. And she goes, I I want to get married because my husband, or supposedly, we'll see, husband makes my sister jealous. It makes me feel like I've won. That's what this character says. And Dakota Johnson's Lucy just like, oh yeah, no, I totally get that. And she gets married, and I went, wow, that's gross. And the movie keeps doing shit like that, where I'm like, this is just unpleasant. And there's so much ick around the fact that you're just like, yep, this is totally how it is. This is exactly how marriage should be. And the movie never checks itself. It really never checks these characters. Lucy, for working at this fucking high end, matchmaking service, where if you look at their business cards, those are the type of business cards where you're like, oh yeah, you're spending thousands on this fucking business card. Like they're a nice ass card. But then when you hear that Lucy's only making 80K, first off, I was like, bullshit. There's no way she wouldn't be pulling six figures, especially the way she dresses. Fuck no. But B, the fact that she's only supposedly making 80K for dealing with these people is fucking insane. Like there's no way you shouldn't be making at least six figures given what she does. So as I mentioned, she had broken up with John, Chris Evans' character. She meets Harry at that same wedding where she goes ahead and has to talk the woman into getting married. She goes ahead and meets Harry there. And the thing about this too is that Chris Evans, there doesn't really seem to be chemistry between her and between Chris Evans and Dakota Johnson. Like there are these points where he's just ranting. He's hungry. Golly, I'm gonna have some coffee real quick. Hang on. He's basically preaching to her, like this could be ours, like the world could be ours, and like you're my world, and I can't move forward without you. And the more you hear it, the more you're just like, this is just pathetic, man. Because she flat out tells him why they won't work. She talks about how she hates the fact that he's broke, and she hates the fact that she's vain. And it's one of the few moments where it feels like the movie is actually aware of how shit these people are. And I'm like, oh, okay. But the movie is like asking you to root for them to figure it out. But Lucy at every turn is giving you reasons why she will not be better. And it's one of those things where there was just a point where I was just like, can we cut this off? Like, this should not have been over 90 minutes. You could have made this 90 minutes fucking easily. And there's so actually this is a line that Lucy says, I don't want to hate you because you're poor, but I do, and it makes me hate myself. Like, holy fuck, what an insane thing to say out loud. Some of the things that these people are saying too, in terms of what they're looking for. There's this guy, Mark, and I won't spoil the twist with Mark, but Mark is an incredibly gross person. He's 48, and he's talking about how, yeah, I've been going on these dates and they're just really not working out. It seems like I need someone more mature. But he's been dating, of his own admission, like 21-year-old, like 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. Like, what the fuck are you going to talk to a 21-year-old about when you're fucking almost 50? Like, that's such a weird, like, really, dude. And so Lucy even says, like, oh, okay, like, I'm happy you want to date, someone a little more mature. And she even says, I have like a 32-year-old potential match. And he goes, 32, like, she might as well be 40. Like, when I said more mature, I was thinking, like, maybe, like, someone older, like 27, 28. I'm like, So first off, it feels like a shot at Leo. Like it really does. It feels like a shot at Leo and like Dennis Quaid and men who do that shit. But two, like even just in the context of this movie, you're like, that is such a gross, like oh god, why? There's also there's one guy he's talking about like how um yeah, I need someone fit. I need someone that's fit. Nothing over 20 BMI. I was like, really? Like that's how specific you're gonna be? You're gonna fucking quote BMI? Like, give me a fucking break. Um, so Lucy does start dating Harry, and and one of the things, like from jump, you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. And I think that's one of the bigger issues with the film itself. I never thought that Lucy and Harry were gonna end up together. No part of me thought that they were gonna end up together because Chris Evans just keeps hanging around. He just keeps kind of hanging around like an annoying gnat in this movie. And I was sitting there the whole time going, okay, she's gonna circle back to him. And I was obviously it's not always about the choices the film makes. Sometimes it is just about the journey. But when the journey is shit, it doesn't. When the journey is shit, it doesn't matter. There's a point where, I mean, this is early on. They're like when they're dating. Lucy flat out tells Harry, "I don't know if I like you or if it's just the places that you take me to." And I'm like, "Wow, what a bitch! Like, what a horrible! You're still getting to know someone, and you're just gonna drop that like it's fucking casual." And there are just so many moments like that where the characters aren't called on shit like that, and so you're really sitting there going, "Why the fuck? Like, who is there in this movie for me to connect with?" And the big issue is there's really like no one. I think Harry's probably the closest thing, but he's oh, by the way, the way that they wrap up his arc, what they do, this quote twist that they do with him is something that is so goddamn irritating that I just like I felt my eyes going to roll out of the back of my head because I was rolling them so much. I could not believe the shit that they fucking pulled here. Oh my god, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the movie like kind of treats it like it's funny. And I'm like, no, this isn't funny at all. This is some bullshit. And the fact that y'all are like treating this like it's not a big deal and that it's not insulting, um, it's so it's so ridiculous. It's so genuinely ridiculous. And where the movie ends up, I went, yeah, of course. Of course it ends up here. Um, there is something that occurs with one of Lucy's clients, and I won't spoil it, but it's one of these things that is so gross and the implication, not even the implications, what they flat out say, like how this insane, this thing happens, and it's so made to be all about Lucy's reaction to it and not the person who went through the actual situation. And the way that that is handled, it is some of the clumsiest fucking writing and something I've seen all year. And it's so tone deaf in a way that I really was like, wow, I if I wasn't liking you already, I would be knocking this several more notches down. And that's where I'm kind of torn because even as vain as these people are, and my God, are they? There are a couple scenes where I thought, okay, maybe this is gonna about to turn around. Maybe this movie's gonna acknowledge like how dumb it's being. And it never really does. It just goes like, nope, nope, we're good. And so I'm really damn, as far as a grade, I would go. I mean, it's an F. It's like an yeah, it's an F because I can't go fuck yourself yet. Um, I might think on it and oh my god, sorry y'all. I might think on it here in a bit. Like I might think on it over the next month or two before I do my worst stuff, and it might climb up to a go fuck yourself or fall down and gets to a go fuck yourself. But I really was just kind of in awe of how badly this movie was executed. And Celine's song. Look, y'all. I'm such a fan of Past Lives. Like, this is why this is so confusing to me. I just couldn't believe that she would just whiff on this, on this effort, on this sophomore effort. The sophomore slump is a term for a reason, and so I hope that Celine Song takes the criticism that she heard from this movie. I'm sure there's a lot of criticism she heard about this movie, but I hope she takes that, and I hope she really does take it to heart. I hope she's able to go ahead and craft an amazing third film, because I think she will. She's more than capable of doing so. But yeah, this was not it. This was a very, very frustrating film to watch, and um, yeah, this was quite bad. So, but yeah, an F for me for Materialists. Yeah, y'all. I'm gonna go grab. Sorry, y'all. Got a little bit of a headache. You know what? Actually, I think I'm gonna stop here. I think I'm gonna stop here. I'll probably hop back on later tonight, but if I don't, at least I got a review done. But yeah, y'all, I will share more information. Sorry, y'all, I just got it really, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling it. But yeah, y'all, I will go ahead and have some more reviews come down the pipeline here soon. I am going to probably hop back on stream, if not tomorrow, probably Sunday. So I will talk to you guys soon. If I'm feeling better tonight, I will hop back on. But yeah, y'all, I will go ahead and talk to you guys soon. But thank you so much for those of you who tuned in live. If you're listening to this after the fact, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. But stay safe, y'all. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. We can always use more positivity. And never forget, as always, to keep it real. Thanks so much, y'all, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers.